Ferrari's newest Formula 1 driver, Carlos Sainz Jr, has completed his first test with the team, driving a 2018 car at Fiorano. While driving an old car might not seem like the most useful exercise, Sainz is adamant it's yielded lots of details that will be useful in his first year with the team. For Sainz, those details relate specifically to Ferrari's systems, processes and people, and the differences to his previous employer McLaren. But they are not the only revealing elements from his first on-track appearance in red. Other particulars of his day and a half in the SF71H also give us a telling example of how Sainz is attacking this massive career opportunity. Sainz says his first day in the car went more or less as planned, from a 6:30 AM wake-up call to early meetings with his engineers and a final tally of more than 100 laps. A 2018 car test is of limited value to an experienced Ferrari driver like Charles Leclerc, who drove the day before Sainz beyond blowing off any cobwebs. But for a newcomer like Sainz, it's a first chance to explore the specifics of Ferrari trackside, if not learning a great deal about the car's performance. Driving something like the 2018 car built to outdated aerodynamic specifications means elements like the Ferrari steering wheel are of much more relevance than the car it's attached to. And Sainz is adamant there were many areas that will be useful when he finally drives the 2021 car and gets into the season.
Of course, it's not the 2021 car, and it's very different tires, very different regulations. But today I got my first taste of a Ferrari Formula 1 car. I got my first try at the steering wheel, looking at all my systems, looking at the way I'm gonna perform some of the starts. I'm gonna also practice a lot talking with my engineer, practice changing all the switches on the steering wheels that, as you guys can imagine, Formula 1 cars nowadays have a lot of procedures. Getting to see my mechanics that I'm gonna work with. I don't know, there's a lot of details out of this test that I'm gonna find useful.
Sainz is far from the first driver to talk like this, but he's in esteemed company. It's very much like Fernando Alonso driving the 2018 Renault, and a lot of the messaging post-test is the same. And there's little doubt Sainz's predecessor Sebastian Vettel, now driving at Aston Martin, would run in a 2018 Mercedes engine Force India if he could. Essentially, Sainz's attitude is indicative of a pursuit of marginal gains. He wants to extract whatever's on offer, especially as a shortened pre-season will limit him to just 1.5 days in the 2021 car before the championship begins. And unlike Alonso, Sainz wasn't given permission to take part in the post-season test in Abu Dhabi last year, but we made an entire video about that. Sainz started his McLaren career on the front foot by throwing himself into things early to try to gel with his new team as quickly as possible. It's tougher to do that in COVID times, but Sainz has already proven to be a devoted student at Maranello. He's reportedly spent a lot of time at the factory through January, meeting with the engineers and driving on the simulator. Taking that one step further and squeezing everything out of a test in an old car sends a good message to his new team, as does the enthusiasm he radiated afterwards.
I mean, first impression you cannot imagine. I mean, for how much I can explain to you, it's impossible for me to put into words really what goes through my mind. From entering the Fiorano track and entering the Ferrari world, you know, and seeing the mechanics, seeing the car with the number 55 on it, seeing your name. It sounds like a small detail, no? But it's seeing your name on a Ferrari car with your number is something that you will never forget. And today, seeing that, it was just incredible.
Last year, Sainz's deal to move to Ferrari first properly hit him at Monza, when the people he did encounter around the COVID-19 protocols gave him something of a hero's welcome. Sainz wasn't even driving for the team at this point, still racing for McLaren. Ferrari's an emotive team for anybody, but it's clear that Sainz quickly bought into it even last year, and now he's wearing red, he's trying to forge a stronger connection as quickly as possible. He even spotted some trackside banners at his Fiorano test, emblazoned with Vamos Carlos and Smooth Operator, a reference to his long-running radio sing-along joke at McLaren. Sainz also said he'd had goosebumps in the morning, so for now the emotional significance of his Ferrari opportunity is almost as strong as the professional element. If that translates into a lasting connection, then Ferrari can bring the best out of Sainz just like McLaren did, as is absolutely evident from his McLaren spell versus the Renault and Red Bull periods before it that Sainz performs best in an environment that loves him. Given he will effectively be Leclerc's deputy at Ferrari, it's questionable Sainz will get quite the same affection back in the long term, but at this stage, there's no harm in him revelling in the Ferrari honeymoon. Sainz was joined at the test by his father Carlos Sr. That came at Junior's request, and Ferrari was evidently happy to facilitate it, which bodes well for Sainz having a vital support mechanism this year. Sainz's World Rally Championship winning father has been an immensely strong figure in Junior's career. That might have caused some friction in the past at Toro Rosso alongside another prominent father-son pairing in Jos and Max Verstappen, but as a well-connected, well-respected driver-turned-paddock diplomat, there's no doubt Senior has been an overwhelming force for good for his boy. And family is still immensely important to Carlos Jr, which is why he spurned a move to Monaco and has stayed in Madrid. So it speaks volumes that Jr wanted his father there to share in the significance of this test.
Yeah, actually 1 week ago we were at home and it was a conversation that was always going to happen where it was time to go to Fiorano, and we looked at each other and said, look, you want to come, I want you to come, this is a very special day. I know there's COVID, PCR test to do, but I would like you to be present on my first day in Ferrari, and he immediately obviously was happy about it. So thanks to Ferrari also for welcoming him. For him, I think he was nearly more nervous than what I was. He knew, probably because I was very focused, he was also from the big picture, knowing what a good day and what a great day was for me, while I was having to stay focused and do the work. You know, I think he enjoyed it a lot, and thanks obviously to Mattia Laurent for showing him around and allowing him to be here today, enjoying a very special day with his son, with myself.
This is important because it's clear that Sainz's father is still going to be there in the background. Having someone familiar in his corner at Ferrari is almost certainly going to be to Sainz's benefit, especially given how Leclerc-focused things will often be, how much pressure there will be to perform, and the potential for things to get difficult in that environment. There is intangible value in a driver in that situation being able to see a familiar and supported face almost as soon as they're out of the car. All in all, Sainz says his Ferrari career couldn't have started in a better way. So how excited are you to see him get behind the wheel of its 2021 car, and how do you expect him to get on alongside Leclerc? Let us know in the comments, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to the race and turn on notifications if you haven't already done so. That way, you'll stay up to date with Sainz's first year at Ferrari and everything else of importance from the 2021 F1 season.